हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाये नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। We are seeing the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Kshetra Kshetrajna Yoga. In this chapter, Bhagavan reveals his own nature through Kshetra and Kshetrajna. So, gaining knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna itself is the supreme knowledge. Kshetra Kshetrajna Yojnanam Yattad Jnanam Matam Mama. So this has to be properly understood. So in the beginning only Bhagavan says this body is Kshetra and the knower of this body is Kshetrajna. So when we say this body, this is the gross physical body as well as the subtle body. The gross physical body is made up of the 5 great elements, and the subtle body is made up of 19 parts, the 5 karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, 5 pranas, mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. All of them are known. They are either known directly or through some other inference or through some other praman. We know. So this body is knowable, is known. And the one who knows this body is called Kshetrajna. And the one who knows is always separate from what he knows. So who is this Kshetrajna? If we want to ascertain, we have to find out what remains separate from gross body as well as the subtle body. And when we analyze our 3 states of experience, we find that when we are awake, we are aware of our gross body as well as the subtle body. So I am the knower of the gross and subtle body in the waking. Then when I am dreaming, I become the knower of my mind, my intellect. But in deep sleep, in dreamless sleep, there is no awareness of the gross body, nor is there any awareness of the subtle body, nor is there any awareness of this world, nor is there any awareness as such of myself. When I wake up and I think about my deep sleep, I say I slept well. Nobody says that they did not exist in deep sleep. So I slept well and I was existing. So that I, that entity who existed in deep sleep, who is separate from the stool and sukshma sharir, is called Kshetrajna. That is me, that is I. Exact nature of Kshetrajna, Bhagavan will reveal later on. But now we should know that the entity who remains separate in deep sleep is the Kshetrajna, and the Kshetrajna is present in the waking as well as in dream also. But we don't recognize it. We only know that I exist, but I don't know exactly what is my nature. That Bhagavan will reveal. So the Kshetrajna is separate from the stool and sukshma sharir, and it is present in all the bodies. See, all the beings, whether human beings, animal, bird, plants, whatever they are experiencing, the experiencer, the entity knowing everything, is the Kshetrajna alone. But the Kshetrajna doesn't have any limitation of time, space, object. So the Kshetrajna in me, the Kshetrajna in you, the Kshetrajna in all the bodies is same. And that Kshetrajna is Ishvara. Bhagavan says, know me as the Kshetrajna in all the bodies. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. I am the Kshetrajna in all the kshetras. I alone am present in all the bodies as the Kshetrajna. So after listening to this statement of Bhagavan, one doubt occurs, which we were analyzing last time, that if Bhagavan alone, Ishvara alone, is Kshetrajna in all, and we know that I am experiencing these joys and sorrows. I am experiencing myself to be born and dying. So I am a samsari. I experience samsara. I experience sorrow. I experience myself to be the doer of actions and one who gains the results of this action. So I am samsari. And this I, Bhagavan says, is Kshetrajna. And Bhagavan also says that I am the Kshetrajna in all. That means Ishvara, we will have to say that Ishvara is samsari. That is one possibility. Or if we say that no, Ishvara cannot be samsari because he is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta, Mukta Swarupaha. So if Ishvara, who is Mukta, alone is the Kshetrajna in all, then we will have to say that there is no samsari. Then the whole idea about studying the scriptures and gaining liberation and all becomes fruitless, useless, doesn't make any sense, because there is no samsari, there is no one who is bound. So the scriptures becomes useless. So Shankaracharya ji writes that both these possibilities are not there, because though I am actually Ishvara who is free from all this samsara, but I am experiencing this samsara because of ignorance. So the Kshetrajna in all the kshetras experience as though samsara due to avidya. So there is this experience of samsara, and there are those who become free of this experience of samsara. So this is there because of the difference of vidya and avidya. So when we are ignorant, when there is ignorance, there is experience of samsara, and when that ignorance gets eliminated, there is no experience of samsara. The fact that Ishvara is Kshetrajna remains, but ignorance makes one experience something else, something different. Okay? So this is being said in the scriptures also, that all this samsara is because of ignorance. Ajnanena avrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. And scripture also says that you should gain proper knowledge. Iha ched avedit ata satyam asti, na ched iha avedit mahati vinashti. That if you gain this knowledge, then only your life is fulfilled, otherwise it's a great loss. And only by gaining the knowledge of yourself, you will become free. knower of Brahma becomes Brahma. Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. And also the effect of ignorance is seen in this world. When we don't know something, then it has got a negative effect in our life. So that is been seen. Like for example, one doesn't know that there is a snake in that place, and when we go there, then we get bitten. But when we know this, then we avoid that place. So Bhagavan gives that example from Mahabharata ki sarpan kushagrani tathodapanam nyatva manushya parivarjayanti. When a person knows that there is danger there of snake or some other harmful thing, then they avoid it and they are saved. But those who are ignorant, they get harmed. Ajnanatas tatra patanti. So kechid jnane phalam pasya tatha visishtam. Therefore there is one can see the effect of knowledge and also ignorance. So now, because of ignorance, the Kshetrajna, who is actually Ishvara, is seen as though bound. So one has to gain that proper knowledge. Shankaracharya ji writes in his commentary, कि तथा च देहादिषु आत्मबुद्धिः अविद्वान् रागद्वेषादि प्रयुक्तो धर्माधर्मानुष्ठानकृत् जायते म्रियते च इति अवगम्यते. Because of ignorance, what happens? One identifies with this body and then considers himself as the doer and performs dharma adharma and gets bound in the chakkar of this samsara, in karma bandhan. But those dehadi vatirikta atmadarshino ragadveshadi prahanapeksha dharma dharma pravrutti upashamat muchyante. But one who recognizes that I am different from this body and gains proper knowledge becomes free. So there is this avidya. What is avidya? That I don't know myself as the Kshetrajna. I don't know myself that I am the Kshetrajna, I am this Brahma. The Kshetrajna is Brahma. Kshetrajna is Sakshat Brahma. But at present, that ignorance is there. And due to this ignorance, what happens? That also Bhagavan tells in this commentary. So we will see briefly what exactly happens due to this ignorance. Due to ignorance, adhyas, that is identification, happens. See, we know that Kshetrajna is totally different from this gross body, is different from the subtle body. The changes which we see in the gross body doesn't belong to Kshetrajna. All the changes which we see, all the transformation which we see in the Sukshma Sharir also doesn't belong to Kshetrajna. Because that which is seen is different from the seer. And the qualities of the seen doesn't belong to the seer. In the same way, the qualities of the seer doesn't belong to the seen. This we know. This is very logical. No? Suppose I see, let us say, a buffalo. That doesn't make me a buffalo. If I see an object, even if I see fire, that doesn't make me burn. Because that which is seen is different from the seer. Okay? But due to ignorance, if we superimpose the idea, we superimpose the qualities of that which is seen on the seer, and the qualities of the seer is superimposed on the seen. Superimposed means mistaken on the seen. So when I am asleep, I am totally separate from this gross physical body. But when I wake up, what happens? I think I am this gross body. That means identification has taken place with the gross body. Not only with the gross body, but with the subtle body also. And then whatever qualities, I am saying I am young, I am old, I am sick, or I am healthy. All these are qualities of the gross physical body. Then I say I am happy, unhappy. These are qualities of the mind. But I consider them as my qualities. And when I was in deep sleep, I had experience. When I wake up, I say I slept happily. My sukh se soya. That means there was happiness in deep sleep. But when I wake up, I seek that happiness elsewhere. The happiness which actually belongs to me, I seek it elsewhere. So the qualities of the Kshetrajna is seen in the Kshetra, and the qualities of Kshetra is seen in Kshetrajna. This is called Adhyas. And this causes all trouble. This is the main cause of samsara. And this is the effect of avidya. In Brahma Sutra, Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji writes about this only in detail in his Adhyas Bhashya. And there he gives an example of Shuktika Rajatavat, of a mother of pearl and silver. See, mother of pearl, that that shell is there. Let us say you are walking on the beach and you see a shining object. And when you look at it, it shines like silver. So you assume that it is silver. You mistake it for silver. You say it is silver. So you pick it up. But when you pick up and see it closely, properly, you come to know that it is not silver, but it is mother of pearl, just a shell. So when you had mistaken it for silver, what exactly had happened? Mistaking the shell for silver is called adhyas. But during that adhyas, what exactly happened? Let us analyze the process or the thing which happened due to which that adhyas took place. So you saw that shining object. It reminded you, because of the similarities, it reminded you of silver which you had experienced before, and you falsely assumed that it is silver. So the silver which you had experienced before was in your mind, and you saw the similarity and falsely assumed that object in front of you is silver. But when you analyzed, you came to know that your understanding was wrong. There is no silver, there was no silver outside. It was only in your mind. What was outside was that mother of pearl. That's called adhyas. Similarly here, the kshetrajna is there and the kshetra is there. In waking state, I experience the kshetra and I also know the kshetrajna separate from the gross and the subtle body. But when in the waking state, I mistake or I consider the kshetrajna as the physical body and superimpose the idea of all the characteristics of the physical body as well as the subtle body on the kshetrajna, and also superimpose the idea of all the characteristic of kshetrajna on the kshetra. So this is called adhyas. Briefly, because it might confuse if we talk too much on this. The main important thing is that because of ignorance I assume something. That silver, mother of pearl was there and I assume that it is silver. My assumption, important point, the assumption that it is silver doesn't affect the mother of pearl. Similarly, because of ignorance, whatever we assume, it doesn't affect that object. So if I assume that the kshetrajna is a gross physical body, that doesn't make the kshetrajna physical body. If I assume that I am born and I will die, that doesn't make the kshetrajna born and dying. My wrong assumption on the kshetrajna and my wrong assumption about the kshetram doesn't affect their nature. Similarly, therefore, since kshetrajna is Ishvara, so even if I consider the kshetrajna as bound, it is not bound. Ishvara is not bound. Ishvara is not samsari. So thinking that I am samsari is just an assumption. It is not true. It is not a fact. The fact is that I am Ishvara. I am Brahma. But I experience myself changing. I experience myself unhappy. I experience myself experiencing that fear and other things. It is all due to avidya. It is not true. It is not a fact. So through vidya, we have to remove this false assumption. We have to eliminate this false assumption. So though all the kshetrajna, Ishvara alone is kshetrajna, but due to avidya, this is experienced differently. So we have to eliminate that avidya. Then we come to know ourselves as we are. So the importance of vidya, importance of right knowledge is being presented here. See, again in Shankaracharya's commentary, he writes that there are those who say that, okay, Ishvara is kshetrajna and kshetrajna and Ishvara are one, but they say that I am different. I am different from that. I am different. This is a wrong understanding. The kshetrajna should be understood as myself. We should not try to understand kshetrajna as some other entity. we have to understand the Kshetrajna as myself. So here Shankaracharya ji writes कि इदंच अन्यत् पांडित्यम कस्यचित् अस्तु क्षेत्रज्ञ ईश्वर एव एवं क्षेत्रम च अन्यत् क्षेत्रज्ञस्य विषयः अहं तु संसारी सुखी दुखी च. So some people they assume that Kshetrajna is Ishvara, but I am different. I am samsari, I am bound, I experience sorrow, pain. Just by saying that I am Ishvara doesn't remove my sorrow, pain, trouble. But this is not proper, this is not true, this is wrong. All this is due to avidya only. So one has to eliminate that avidya. Now again, very important, one last point, कि who exactly is for whom is this avidya? Who is ignorant? Who is doing this adhyas? Who is ignorant? Because if we say Kshetrajna is Ishvara, then Kshetrajna is not ignorant. Kshetrajna is that Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarup Ishvara only. So who is ignorant? See, for that we have to understand who is the one who is experiencing this world in the present moment. Who is the experiencer of joys and sorrows? I say I am experiencing joys and sorrows. Who is this I? Actually this I Kshetrajna only, but who is, due to ignorance, there is this identification with the body, mind has happened, and I experience this. So the Kshetrajna who is experiencing this world, or the one who is experiencing this world at present, is what is called the waker, the Bahishprajna. The waker is called the Bahishprajna, the one who is experiencing the external world, one who is experiencing this body, mind, is the Bahishprajna. This Bahishprajna, this I, in the waking, has done this adhyas. This I in the waking is one who is ignorant. This I has done this adhyas, and the teaching of the scripture is given to this I. And once this I understands that I am not this one who is bound, I am not the Bahishprajna, I am actually the Kshetrajna, then he becomes free. Let me give you an example. Let us just take the example of our dream. You are sleeping in your bedroom comfortably, and you have a dream. You go to sleep and you dream. And in your dream, you see yourself, let us say in a forest, alone, surrounded by so many wild animals and dense forest. So you are scared. So you, the dreamer, is seeing a world there which is very scary, and you are experiencing sorrow, fear. Okay? But really speaking, you are lying comfortably in your bed, in that nice warm razai. So as you are walking in the forest, scared, frightened, suddenly you see one lion in front of you, and that lion jumps on you, and you get so scared that out of that fear only you just wake up. And when you wake up, you find yourself comfortably lying on your bed. No forest, no lion, everything is fine. So all your fear, all your sorrow, all your pain of the dream just disappears. So who was dreaming? The one who was awake, same person was dreaming. And when that dreamer disappears, in his place we see the waker. If this is understood, now who is having this avidya, this bahish prajna, the waker? Waker thinks himself to be a jiva. Waker thinks himself to be bound. Waker thinks himself to be karta, bhokta, jnata. So when this waker gains proper understanding through the blessings of the teacher and the scriptures, comes to understand that, oh, I was thinking I am a waker. I was thinking that I am a jiva, bound. But through this study of the scriptures, he comes to know that I am not the kshetrajna. I am not this bahish prajna. I am kshetrajna. And when he gains that knowledge, all the false assumptions gets dropped. And he comes to realize his own self as Brahma. That self-realization happens. Okay? So, keep in mind that you are kshetrajna, but you think yourself to be someone else due to avidya. So through proper thinking and contemplation, we have to eliminate this avidya and recognize ourselves as the kshetrajna, who is that Brahma. Okay? I think this much is enough for now. So this two shlokas we have seen. Bhagavan said that this body is kshetra and the knower of the body is kshetrajna. Then in the second shloka he said, in all the kshetras, I alone am the kshetrajna. Kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Now briefly Bhagavan mentioned kshetra and kshetrajna, and he also says that to gain proper understanding of kshetra and kshetrajna itself is proper knowledge. This knowledge alone will liberate us from samsara. So though he had mentioned the kshetra as idam shariram, briefly as idam only, idam shariram. But exactly what is the kshetra, that Bhagavan now tells in detail, and he will also tell in detail properly what is the exact nature of kshetrajna. So let us go to the next shloka, where Bhagavan tells what he will teach now. He says, तक्षेत्रं यच्च यादृक् च यद्विकारि यतश्च यत् स च यो यत्प्रभावश्च तत्समासेन मे शृणु. Bhagavan says that what I had mentioned before as idam shariram, though while talking about it I said that gross body and subtle body, but there Bhagavan had only said idam shariram, this body is kshetra. So what do we mean by this body? What is it made up of? And what we can understand about the kshetra. Bhagavan said tak kshetram yaccha. What exactly is the kshetra? Yadrukcha. What is its nature? And yad vikari. And what are its various modifications? What is the nature of kshetra? And what are its various modifications? Various vikar. What it gets transformed into. What is the actual kshetra? And what are the different things in which it gets transformed? What are its vikar? And yatascha yata. And what are its various other expressions? So what is kshetra? What are its vikar modification? And what are its various expressions? Means the entire detail about kshetram, Bhagavan says, I will tell you. So tak kshetram yaccha yadrukcha yad vikari yatascha yata. Okay. And Bhagavan says, I will also tell about this kshetrajna. What Bhagavan has already said that kshetrajna is myself. But Bhagavan says, I will also tell what is its prabhava. Sacha yo yat prabhavascha. What exactly is the nature of the kshetrajna? And what is its prabhav? Prabhav means what? Its glory with respect to the various upadhis. Ye prabhava upadhi krita shaktayo yasya sa yat prabhavaha. See, kshetrajna by itself, what is its nature? And what is its nature when it gets expressed through some conditionings? By itself what it is, means what is its swarupa and what is its rupa. What is its nature by itself and what are its various expressions. Prabhav. Tat samasena me shruno. That, hey Arjuna, you understand from me briefly. I will tell you the exhaustively, but briefly I will convey the whole thing. The exact nature of kshetra, the various vikar and the various expressions. Again, what is the nature of kshetrajna and what are its expressions when it expresses through various upadhis. That briefly you listen from me, because the knowledge of kshetra and kshetrajna itself is the complete knowledge. If we know exactly what it is, what they are, then we know everything. But they are very subtle. One has to really contemplate and go dive deep to comprehend them. And once we comprehend them, then our journey becomes simple. Okay, we reach our destination. So in order to inspire us, in order to create that enthusiasm to know this, gain this knowledge, Bhagavan tells the greatness of this knowledge. The knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna, the essence of Kshetra and Kshetrajna, the beauty and the greatness of this knowledge, Bhagavan reveals in the next verse. He says, verse number 4, Rishibhir bahudha geetam छंदोभिर्विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः. Bhagavan says that Rishibhihi bahudha geetam, this, about this knowledge, about the Kshetra and Kshetrajna. See, the Kshetra, the Swarup of Kshetra is Brahma, and the Swarup of Kshetrajna is also Brahma, and Brahma alone is there. Brahma alone expresses as Kshetra and Kshetrajna. But one has to recognize them properly. Not recognizing is the very cause of samsara. Recognizing makes us free. That is the difference. Not recognizing means avidya binds us to the samsara, and vidya sets us free. So Rishibhihi bahudha geetam, though it is just the knowledge of the Kshetra, Kshetrajna we should understand, but since it is so subtle that Rishi Munis have sung about it in different ways. Ekam sat vipra bahudha vadanti. The sat is one, but the wise people talk about it in different ways. So rishis are the mantra drashtas, the seers of the mantras of the Vedas. They are not the writers, they are not the authors, but they are the one who saw or understood the Vedas and certain aspect of the Vedas. So they are the rishis. So these rishis have sung about this great truth in various ways. So we have this, so many different types of Upanishads are there. Every Upanishad talks about the same truth, but differently, so that we can grasp it, if not from this side, then from other. Because each one of us, we have a different body and different mind, intellect. So different capacity of this mind, intellect, different sanskars. So each one of us understand things differently. For someone, one statement might be very easy, but the same statement for other person might be totally difficult to understand. Therefore, the same truth is depicted, revealed in various ways, so that we can catch whichever suits, whichever makes us understand it properly. Okay? So Rishibhir bahudha geetam. And how they have revealed it in various chanda. Chandobhihi vividaihi pruthaka. In various mantras, in various chanda, in the various Upanishads of these Vedas, Chandamsi, Rigadini, Taihi, Chandobhihi, Vasishtadibihi, Bahu Prakaram Geetam. So all these great rishis, Vasishtha Rishi, etc., they have revealed it through various chanda and mantras. See, we have the Yog Vasishtha, where Vasishtha Rishi teaches Bhagwan Sri Ram. We have the Upanishads, the Kathopanishad, the Mundaka Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Chandogya, Brihadaranyaka. In every Upanishad, the same truth is revealed in different ways. And how do they reveal? Brahma Sutra Padaishchaiva. There are those statements, there are those words which indicate this Brahma. So they are called Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra Padaihi. Here Brahma Sutra doesn't mean that Brahma Sutra, that text written by Vedavyasji, Badarayana, but this refers to Brahma Sutra are all those mantras which reveal Brahma. Because Brahma Sutra of Badarayana came afterwards, after Bhagavad Gita. So Brahma Sutra Padaishchaiva Brahmanah Suchakani Vakyani Brahma Sutrani Taihi Padyate Gamyate Nyayate Brahma iti Tani Padani Uchyante. So all those statements which reveal that Brahma are called Brahma Sutra Pada. So through this Pada means words, we understand Brahma, and through the Pada also means that abode, we attain that abode of Brahma. So Brahma Sutra Pradashchaiva Hetu Madbihi Vinishchitaihi, with proper logic and rational thinking, the whole truth is presented in all the various scriptures. So Hetu Madbihi Vinishchitaihi, with a firm determination, without any samshay, without any doubt, the truth is revealed in our scriptures. So having created this jidnyasa and this enthusiasm to know about the kshetra and kshetrajna, now in the following verses, Bhagwan now reveals the nature of the kshetrajna. We will chant this shloka and just see the literal meaning, and in detail we will see in our class tomorrow. Mahabhutanyahankarah buddhiravyaktamev cha indriyani dashaikancha pancachendriya gocharaha ichha dvesha sukham dukkham sanghataschetana Etakshetram samasena savikaramudahritam. Mahabhutani. What is the kshetra? See, we say this gross physical body and the subtle body kshetra. But this gross physical body is just an effect. The cause of this gross physical body are the 5 great elements. And the cause of these 5 great elements are the Panchatanmatras. And the cause of those 5 Panchatanmatras is the Ahankar Tattva. The cause of Ahankar Tattva is Mahat Tattva. The cause of Mahat Tattva is Avyakta. The cause of Avyakta is Avyakrita. And the ultimate cause of Avyakrita is that Brahma. So one has to understand this whole thing. So therefore Bhagavan reveals it. Ki Mahabhutani. Mahabhutani are the Panchatanmatras. Then Ahankaraha. The Ahankar Tattva. Buddhihi. Buddhi is the Samashti Buddhi. Which is born from Mahat Tattva. Then Avyakta, the unmanifest. Then Indriyani Dasha, the 10 Indriyas, means Pancha Karmendriyas and Pancha Jnanendriyas. Then Ekam is Mana. Then Panchacha Indriya Gochara, then the 5 which are which are experienced through the five senses, means the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, the five great elements. Then Ichha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham. Ichha, desire; Dvesha, dislike; Sukham, happiness; Dukkha, unhappiness; Sanghata, all the conglomerate of all this; Chetana, the expression of the Chaitanya in the Buddhi; then Dhriti, Dhairya. All these are called Kshetra Samasena Savikaram Udartam. All this is Kshetra. This needs a lot of explanation. So we will see this in our class tomorrow. So till then you take care. Be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. Do your work, do your sadhana. And we shall meet again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Bolish Siyavar Ramachandra Bhagwan Ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.